Hello there guys and welcome back to 100% Chelsea from a preview of the Leicester City versus Chelsea game in the quarter-final of the FA Cup, with the kickoff being on Sunday at 4:30 PM UK time at the King Power Stadium in Leicester. As you can see, I'm back from Barcelona. I travelled back yesterday, the other lads came back today, but here we are. But before getting into this preview actually, I quickly want to talk about the Barcelona game, because a lot of people weren't happy with what I and the others on the channel said after the game. I can only speak for myself, of course, but I would like to explain where I came from when I said the things that I did say. First of all, please don't forget that I made the review live stream that I did literally 2 minutes, if that, after the final whistle. We just lost 3-0 and were knocked out of the Champions League. I travelled all the way to Barcelona. I was devastated, as was everyone around myself. So, I did maybe feel worse as someone that watched it on TV and had a few hours or something to calm down already. And even the fan cams were recorded not long after, with the only thing that happening in between, leaving the ground and doing the fan cam was Chelsea fans getting attacked by Barcelona stewards and police. So you can maybe understand why my mind wasn't, all cleared up to properly process what exactly happened on the pitch. But I still didn't articulate myself well enough to really say what I meant. So we didn't play an awful game, is what I'm trying to say now. We attacked Barcelona. We had quite a bit of the ball. We created chances. Maybe should have had a penalty as well. Whether we would have attacked them from the start had we not gone a goal down within 3 minutes, we won't know. But we did attack them. But what I do stand by is that it wasn't a good performance nonetheless. Maybe it wasn't as bad as I made it sound like, but it wasn't good in my opinion, because Barcelona didn't win 3-0 because they were too good for us to defend against them, and because they were too good defensively for us to score. That's not why we lost 3-0. No, we basically gifted them all of their 3 goals they scored. We gifted them another 1 or 2 huge chances, and also gifted them their away goal at Stamford Bridge. And on the other end, we just didn't take our chances. Yes, we got unlucky by hitting the woodwork 4 times over the 2 legs, but still some of the finishing on Wednesday was poor. Playing quite well, creating chances but not finishing them, and gifting an opposition like Barcelona 3 goals isn't a good performance in my eyes. Yes, I said we were awful. What I mean when I say we were awful is a lot of players were awful, and I stand by that. And the defensive errors were ridiculously awful, and some of the finishing was as well. But that's why I was devastated, because I knew we had it in us to go through. We played like we did. We just couldn't finish, and we made multiple and just too many individual mistakes and ruined it for ourselves. And that is ridiculous, because beating Barcelona is already difficult enough if you don't make mistakes. But basically gifting them all 4 goals that they did score over the both legs made me extremely angry and sad, really. I do, though, stand by my criticism of Courtois and Hazard. I do stand by that, and I do stand by what I said about them. But, okay, it's enough about that now. We're out. It was still a quality trip nonetheless, but we have to move on, pick ourselves up, and try and get top 4 and win the FA Cup, really. So with that out of the way, let's now actually start the preview and speak about our opposition, Leicester. They currently sit in 8th with 40 points from 30 games, which is 16 points behind us, on exactly 10 wins, 10 draws and 10 defeats. They've scored 45 goals and conceded 43, which of course gives them a goal difference of +2, and they are basically the last team in the table with a positive goal difference. While they've only lost 1 game in the whole February and March, when they lost 5-1 to Manchester City, they've also only won 1 game in that time period, which was their 4-1 win over West Brom, who were dead bottom last weekend. The last league win before last weekend was back on the 20th of January when they beat Watford 2-0. To get to the quarter-final of the FA Cup, in the 3rd round, Leicester beat League 1 side Fleetwood Town, but only in a replay game after drawing 0-0 away from home, beating another League 1 side in Peterborough in the 4th round, and beating Championship side Sheffield United 1-0 in the last round. So they didn't exactly have the most difficult of runs, and weren't in their best form recently in the league as well. But they are here anyway, and they are opposition on Sunday. Now, last time we faced Leicester was on January 13th, and it ended in a 0-0 draw at Stamford Bridge. A game in which we actually started with a 3-5-2 formation, one of the last 2 games we have used the formation in, actually. And they played well. Leicester played well. They put us under a lot of pressure. And they even had their left-back, Chilwell, sent off in the 68th minute, and we still couldn't win. So, I'm not saying it's got much better since, but that was one of the worst periods we've had all season around that period, because that just wasn't good at all. Back in September was when we first played them in the season, when we played them away from home, and we beat them 2-1, with goals coming from Alvaro Morata and N'Golo Kante. Back when Morata was still scoring goals, eh? Leicester do still play their high intensity, quick break and balls in behind kind of game more often than not. They usually line up in some sort of variation of the 4-4-2, sometimes changing it to a 4-4-1-1 like they did when they played us at Stamford Bridge, or even a 4-2-3-1 recently a few times. So the second striker just sitting deep and playing more of a number 10 role. But they also went for a 4-3-3 for the odd game out there as well. The thing is though, Leicester are more than safe from relegation. They're not fighting to get into the Champions League and not really fighting to get into the Europa League either. So you can expect them to go all out in the FA Cup on Sunday and play their absolute strongest side. And of course, they didn't play midweek either, obviously, like we did in Barcelona. But they didn't just stick around in Leicester and just wait for the game. They actually went on a training camp instead to the south of Spain. And currently, they also don't face any injury problems. That was really about Leicester. Now let's get into Antonio Conte's press conference. Conte stated the obvious and made it clear that we want to win the FA Cup and also finish in the top 4. There is no which would you rather achieve if he had to choose. We want to do both. Asked whether he will do a lot of rotating again, like we have done in the previous rounds of the FA Cup, Conte said that now we don't play every 3 days anymore. Yes, we face Barcelona, but not every week with a midweek game anymore. Conte said he will pick the best solution for the game on Sunday, so it doesn't sound like too much rotation, but I think there will still be some. Asked whether Caballero will stay in goal for the cup games, as he has done throughout the season, Conte said, we have no rule on who has to play in the cup. They're both good goalkeepers and he will make the best decision for the game. But generally, that was really it from the press conference. It was another one of those pointless press conferences, really. While he was asked about team news, it was added onto quite a long question and Conte maybe didn't understand or hear the team news bit. So we didn't get any team news because no other journalists followed up on that. I was then later told that Chelsea actually wasn't happy with, Giroud starting against Barcelona being leaked earlier, like ahead of the game. So maybe Conte purposely didn't answer that question. We won't know, but the fact is we don't have any team news, right now. But now coming to Chelsea. And I'm sure the players were devastated after the game on Friday. As, I'm sure every Chelsea fan out there was, especially the ones that were in Barcelona. So let's hope they've picked themselves up and are ready to fight for the FA Cup on Sunday. I can only assume that after not, receiving any team news, that Ross Barkley, Danny Drinkwater and David Luiz are still out injured and that we don't have any other injuries, we'll obviously just find out on Sunday, I suppose. But now speaking about the lineup, and as I usually do, just going through what I would go with, but also mentioning what I think Antonio Conte will do. And starting it off with the formation, I would still go with the 3-4-3. Yes, I still would like a 4 at the back, but that's not happening. You have to stay somewhat realistic. So 3-4-3, and I will put Caballero in goal. Don't even mention Thibaut Courtois to me after what's happened recently. Not a fan of him at the moment. I'm just really not. A back 3 of Cesar Spilicueta, Andreas Christensen and Gary Cahill. Only resting Rudiger because he missed the Palace game with a fatigued muscle injury and then played in Barcelona. So just to be safe and recover his muscles properly, I would leave him out of this one. Then coming to the wing backs, I would go for Emerson Palmieri on the left and David Zappacosta on the right. Seriously, Emerson Palmieri just has to start. Alonso was one of the better players in Barcelona. He had a good game, even though I don't know where he was when we conceded a second goal. But, fair enough. And also Alonso actually got called up for the first time for the Spanish national team. So congratulations to him for that. Let's hope he can, make his Spain debut as well this week. Then coming to the midfield, that's where I'm not sure. Kante has to start if we want to win. So, he's basically in. But Fabregas was very poor against Barcelona, I thought. Was at fault for giving the ball away ahead of the third goal. And he might struggle with Leicester's intensity as well. And I actually think Conte will start Bakayoko, have just returned from injury, came on against Palace. And also I kind of feel like after returning from injury, I kind of should give him another chance. But instead of Fabregas, it's just always the same problem with just Kante and Bakayoko midfield. Because that always ends up in no connection between midfield and attack. And then we struggle to create any proper chances, or many proper chances anyway. See, that's why I want 4-3-3. Because we can have Kante in there, who's an engine. We can have Bakayoko in there, who needs game time to improve. Well, we can also have Fabregas in there, who's the connector, if you will, between defence and attack. But it's not happening. So I suppose Kante and Bakayoko should start, even though I prefer Kante and Fabregas, but we'll just have to wait and see what we actually go with on Sunday. And now coming to the front 3. And while it's still the quarter-final of the FA Cup, so Willian stays in, of course, his form is too good to leave him out at the moment. And I kind of want to leave Eden Hazard out, because it's just annoying to me how he doesn't turn up anywhere near as much as Willian does at the moment. And, I would actually start Callum Hudson-Odoi instead of Hazard. But that's just not going to happen. We know Antonio Conte. That's not going to happen. And I'd still rather see Hazard and Pedro, who's just done nothing over the last month or more. So, probably still going to have to go with Hazard. And then up front, just like ahead of the Barcelona game, I'm just not sure. Do we want Olivier Giroud to keep playing and playing well? Because he has done, he has been playing quite well. In Barcelona, he struggled a bit. But, he's not been around yet. He's made a few misplaced passes. Basically, hoping for a teammate to be there, that there wasn't a teammate there. That's because he's not been around for too long. The connection, the understanding, it takes a little bit longer sometimes. And, I think that's quite understandable. I didn't think he had a poor game. Or do we play Morata to give him another chance to regain his confidence? Because that must be even lower now that he was actually left out of the Spain squad in this, upcoming international break next week. And to be honest, I'm not bothered which one of the two starts really. Start one of them, and if it doesn't work, change them around in the 60th minute or something. I can't make a decision, that's why I'm not the manager. Conte, I hope he makes the right decision, really. So to run you through what I would go with just quickly again, Caballero in goal in a 3-4-3 formation, back 3 of Azpilicueta, Christensen and Gary Cahill, 2 wing backs of Emerson Palmieri and David Zappacosta midfield, of Kante and Bakayoko, or Kante and Fabregas. I can't even decide. It's probably going to say both names on this now. And the front three of Eden Hazard on the left, Willian on the right, and either Giroud or Morata up front. I can't make a decision right now, but, you know, that's what it is. Like I said, Leicester haven't been in the best form, but neither have we. Results-wise especially. But if we take our chances for once and don't just give the opposition goals, then we should win. The question is, will we take our chances and not give the opposition goals? And I have no idea. We'll just have to wait and find out, really. See, I don't think we will lose, but I could see a draw and then a replay game. But we're still Chelsea with some very, very good players. So we can, of course, win the game. Whether that will happen or not, I'm not going to give a prediction because, I don't know. I didn't give a prediction for Palace, we won. I gave the 2-2 prediction ahead of Barcelona. That clearly didn't work out. So yeah, that's really it from me. Leave me all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. Who would you start with? You know, leave me your predicted lineups down in the comment section below. Would you go with Morata or Giroud? Or, you know, would you go with Bakayoko or Fabregas? Or who would you go in midfield? Just leave me all of your thoughts about that down in the comment section below. Leave a like if you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out my social media with this last 15 to 7 on both Instagram and Twitter. As you can see over here, I'd massively appreciate it if you could follow me over there. And also don't forget to check out the channel social media, which is down in the description below on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and on Twitter, of course, as well. So yeah, that would be good as well. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to 100% Chelsea if you haven't already. We would massively appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching. Up the Chelsea. And I'll see you next time.